Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. Two of the most common modifications Mustang owners make are a new exhaust system and a cold air kit. The cold air kit is easy because it's a relatively simple installation, typically adds some horsepower and torque, and adds a nice sound under the hood as well. BBK Performance has been in the late model Mustang game since pretty much the beginning, now offers this cold air intake kit that'll fit your 2015 through 2016 Mustang. They claim this kit will make up to 20 horsepower with no tune required, and today we're going to show you to install it using our 2015 GT convertible. This BBK cold air intake is available in the Blackout series shown here, which comes with a black powder coated finish. It's also going to be available in a chrome finish. This kit is made right here in the USA and provides everything necessary to install on your 2015 or 2016 Mustang with a 5-liter V8. For this installation, they had a 1/4-inch ratchet, 7mm socket, 8mm socket, 10mm socket, a short extension, flathead screwdriver, T20 Torx bit, needle nose pliers, 2.5mm Allen key, and a razor blade. First step in the installation is obviously to remove the existing cold air intake. To make it a little bit easier, you're going to move our intake cover. You can actually get it off without taking off the strut brace if you're careful. Just lift it up and slide it out. Now we're going to start by removing all the factory hoses, including the PCV, the air hoses, and the sound tube. The BBK actually retains the sound tube, so instead of disconnecting the firewall like some kits, we'll disconnect right here at the cold air intake. And everything else is little tabs or little buttons, just push it and release. 3 more things to disconnect when you pull the entire cold air kit out as one piece. The first one is going to be the clamp, connects it to the throttle body. After that, remove the bolt that holds the air box to our fender. Last step is going to be the plug for the mass air meter. A little red tab underneath. Slide that out. Slide the plug off. Then don't forget, right below here, the little tab that holds it to the airbox. You should pull that out too so you don't damage the wiring. Put it up out of the way. Now you can carefully remove your entire airbox assembly. The intake off, you can remove now the front part with the silencer. Give it a little shimmy, it'll pop right off. Put that aside as well. The last step before we can begin installation of our BBK cold air intake kit is to remove the factory radiator cover. It's held in place by 8 of these little plastic push pins. Simply just push up on the center of the pin, slide it up, disengage it. Now we can start prepping the BBK cold air intake for installation. The first thing we're going to do is grab the heat shield. This provided rubber seal. The seal is going to go around this opening here to protect the tube when it goes through from scratching it. Pretty simple, just slide it over the edge. Make sure you leave the opening at the bottom where you won't see it once the tube goes through. You want to grab your factory cold air intake kit so we can grab the original mass air meter and move it over to our BBK. BBK provides hardware, so you will not need the original. Now we install the mass air into the new BBK inlet tube. It will only fit one way. If you put it in, the holes don't line up, you just have it backwards, just spin it around. Then make sure you use the supplied hardware by BBK. Don't try to use the originals. You'll begin the BBK cold air installation kit on the car by installing the supplied heat shield. Mounts to the factory bolt in the fender, and the other part goes over this stud as part of the radiator mount. To do that, remove these 2 bolts, remove the bracket. Simply slide it off the top. Put the shield down into place. Front opening here goes over the radiator. And the back here will line up with the factory hardware. Line the rear of it up with the factory mount here, reinstall the factory bolt. The rear bolted down, now reinstall the radiator support bracket here. And reinstall the factory hardware. Then you want to grab the angled coupler. This is connected to the throttle body itself. Grab 2 of the supplied hose clamps. Put them over both sides. And take this fitting, put it right down through the center. Now install this on the throttle body, with the fitting facing the passenger side. Just put everything on loosely for now. Come back and tighten it up later. Next, you'll want to assemble this adapter. This is going to go on this side here to your cold air intake. This can connect to the factory sound tube, PCV, and fitting. I'm going to slide that over with the provided clamps. One side will clamp here, the other side will clamp to the cold air intake. But for now, just leave everything loose. We'll make all the connections here with the airline. Make sure it clicks into place. PCV. And the factory sound tube. Once everything is assembled, take the supplied cap, put it over the opposite end. We're going to put the filter in place now through our shield. Let it sit down and grab the provided coupler and clamps and put them on there. So the clamp is all the way seated against the lip. Move the clamp in place and we can tighten it down. Now I want to grab the main mandrel bin intake pipe here. Start by connecting it to this fitting. And the throttle body side. And follow it to the filter. Everything's seated properly, go back, tighten it all down. Everything in place now. Route the hose over here, this metal fitting. Make sure it clicks in place. The last step now is to plug in the mass air meter. To do that, we have to get the harness over here. This little hole down here is actually what it's designed for. Take this edge here, simply pick it up, and slide this grommet up. The grommet off now, I'm going to slice a hole in it, or slit in it I should say, with a razor blade. I'll put the harness down through it. Now take the mass air harness, put the grommet around it, put it back down into the opening. And once you have it through, reinstall this top seal here. Once that's through, go back over here, then plug in your mass air meter. Next step is to reinstall the radiator cover. Cover in place and install the push pins. Push them down into place and push the center in. Everything in place, now we can reinstall our intake cover. Like I said before, the BBK requires no tune, so your installation's finished. Now we'll fire it up, check for leaks, and see how it sounds. Even with the aftermarket exhaust, you can still hear a BBK cold air intake, especially when you just hit the throttle. So just off throttle, you can definitely hear a noticeable difference, even with the stock tube still in place. The BBK's metal construction is a lot nicer than the factory plastic. It looks great under the hood, sounds good, and according to BBK, should make some power with no other modifications required. The installation is pretty straightforward, should take you no more than about an hour. Be back on the road in no time.